Sparkly Squad, this is Monica, and I am doing an update to my little chocolate Hershey nuggets that I did a year or two ago, where I made those little packets for your stocking stuffers. I'm still doing the same size papers, so these are still 2x7-inch pieces of cardstock that I did in the Christmas theme papers. As you can see, I've got all sorts of different themes that I did where I cut up 12x12 piece of cardstock in those different sheets. And you saw the previous video, I did it where I had just the 2x7 in the self-stick, I believe it's the BM5 self-adhesive little pieces of cellophane wrap. This is the one I got this year. Clearbags.com was out, so I actually went through Amazon to get this. I will put a link down below in the description for these. In the meantime, I had plenty of pretzel bags, and I remember I mentioned that to you guys in my other video. This is where I'm actually using the pretzel bags that I had. I did get another one in case I wasn't going to get these from Amazon. This is from, I believe I got these at Michael's. Celebrate It, and they are the 2 1/4 by 9 3/4 size, and there's 75 in the package. So it depends on how many of these that you need to do. The package that I got from Amazon, the BM5, that's like the clear bags that I was using in my last video, the self-adhesive, there are 200 in the package. So I will put links below in the description to both of these, and you can decide which way you'd rather do it. Now the pretzel bags, because they're not self-adhesive, you've got to incorporate the little sandwich ties that you have, and these came in silver, so it's still Christmassy looking, but this is the style last year minus the fact that I'm doing it in the pretzel bags. So I had it double-sided, the 2x7 sheets of paper, and then I had the little nuggets wrapped up. I did every other one as a wrapped nugget, and I ran out of my Santa labels, but I'll insert pictures here to the ones that I did for my coworkers. The thing that I'm doing differently this year is I am actually creating a little tray. So here's a version with the same paper, and this is a double-sided tray. So I just did the same thing. I put 2 of my pieces of paper back to back in the same design. You can actually change the designs if you want to. That way it creates a double-sided tray. So you see the design on this side, but you also see it as you're eating the chocolates out of this side. The ones I did at work, I was having to do them really quickly, so I only did 1 piece of paper. And I used a metal edged ruler to be able to fold up just a slight edge on both sides. Now here I'm at the house and I don't have a nice metal edged ruler, so I'm just doing it with my fingers. And you can see in the pretzel bags, because you're having to do the sandwich tie, it actually works better to have it in the tray versus the paper, because it wants to curl the paper's edge up anyway here, especially at the edge where you're trying to put the tie on for the top of your bag. Okay, so I wanted to show you with the one that I'm doing, the double side tray, as opposed to the original ones where I just did 1 piece of paper and it was just white on the back. Let's say I'm going to do this one here. I've got 2 pieces of paper that are the same design. You can mix those up if you'd rather, like maybe you've got, say I've got this plaid, and maybe that would look really good with these snowmen. Put that back to back like this. Make sure that they are the same size, because you might have some, like, see how this is a little bit extra over the edges a little bit, because sometimes when you're cutting these, even though you're using your paper trimmer, you might still have some that are not as long or as wide or whatever. And once you've done that, if you want to do the same pattern, which is what I've got here, then you just go and actually with your hand, or what I have at work, which worked really well, was a ruler that has like a little metal tip on one side of it, so that I can just actually pick it up with my finger and then have that ruler kind of holding place to make a little crease as I'm pushing up against that ruler all along the side. I would just take the corner here with my fingers and bend it up and go all the way down, and then once I've made a little crease, then push it down with my fingers and run it down with my finger there. That way it's got a nice bend like this. I'm turning this, just 2 pieces of paper back to back, into my trays. This is where I've just been using my fingers in order to get that little edge. Once I've done that, I've put the chocolates into the tray, and you see how nice that is. It just kind of holds them in place. don't have them really popping out as much. If you leave too much of a gap in between the chocolates, you'll have that problem where I was saying, especially using the pretzel bag. See how it kind of pooches up a little bit with the pretzel bag? So that gives the chocolate a little bit of wiggle room if you're moving it around and whatnot, as opposed to the self-seal bags, because then you could get a really tight pull on this plastic, because your end has a sealing tab on it and it goes around on the back, and you can pull it as tight as you want and then press the seal down on the back. That's like what I did in my previous video. You don't even have to have the address labels if you just want to keep on using your scrapbook paper. So check that video out, because I'm showing you both ways on that. If you don't want to do these little labels, the address labels and then the stickers, you can still do scrapbooking paper in the stickers, or just scrapbooking paper, because that's really cute too. You can make it all matchy match, or you can kind of mix and mingle your little patterns and whatnot. Here's the option where I'm saying that you can use two different kinds of paper if you want to do the double-sided option. I've got the little red paper that's got what's supposed to be little flecks of snow here, and then when you turn it over, this is the back side of the tray, and then you've got the little snowman themed paper. So those are ultra cute ways to dress up some Hershey Nuggets. Now I got mine for $9.98 again. What I wound up doing was I ordered 2 bags from Amazon, and it's the same chocolate mix, but I think in the Walmart bags it's 38.5 ounces, and here in the Amazon and even my Kroger bags, they're 31.5 ounces. So I believe you get an additional 7 ounces for $9.98 if you get the Walmart bags versus what I've gotten now at Kroger and online at Amazon. So that's what I'm doing, guys. I am just kind of updating my little design this year to incorporate the trays. I'm going to use up some pretzel bags that I had, and these are good for any kind of holiday. You can do these at Valentine's Day, you can do Halloween, you can do Christmas, just whenever you want to do these. And these nuggets that are in the mix are great. Now, something else that I did, and I can't remember if I mentioned it in my video, the ones that I actually put the stickers on are the milk chocolate ones, and the ones that do not have a sticker on them are so that you can see what are in them, because there might be some people that can't have nuts, or maybe they don't like toffee. So if anybody that I'm giving this to says, hey, I can't have nuts or anything, and then I can tell them, well, the ones that have the labels on are just milk chocolate, providing that that is okay and they're not so ultra sensitive that even these being in the same package touching each other is a bad scenario for them, then that is a helpful way for them to just give the ones that have the nuts and the toffee to somebody else, and they can enjoy the milk chocolate. So there are 2 different ways that you can incorporate the Hershey Nuggets for your stocking stuffers. I like the fact that you can see the design when you're looking at your nuggets. You can also use the double-sided cardstock paper, so you're still just using 1 sheet of paper, but it has a design on both sides without you having to use two little pieces of paper. I do like the tray style better. It seems to want to fit in there nicely. Now, something else that I might add, if you wind up using the pretzel bags, depends on how tightly you can get your nuggets in there. When you're moving around and everything, some of the nuggets might fall forward. So you might want to use either an ATG gun or a double-sided sticky tape, and then put your nuggets down on top of it. That way the tape will hold the nuggets in place, and when you go to put these into the stockings, you won't have any nugget that might fall forward or look messy. As you can see, they just kind of move around, but it also depends on how tightly you get them in there with your tray, the corners of your tray. So I've got mine pretty, close to the nugget itself so that there's not a lot of wiggle room. This just makes a very cool way that you can do stocking stuffers for people or gifts. You can also present these at craft fairs during the holidays. However you want to do them, if you want to use a pretzel bag or the self-adhesive bags, you can use all sorts of different stickers. Like I said, I ran out of the Santas, so now I'm using a Have a Very Merry Christmas sticker, and I'm still incorporating the rest of these little address labels here, just like I did in my previous video. So I hope that you enjoy this tutorial and have a sparkle-rific Merry Christmas, y'all. Bye!